Last episode, we had to make a hard decision on if we were going to side with Fah'jik and have her help us get into the tower to save King Dynar, or ask the lamia Tzik'nith to help us get into the tower. They each have their own agenda that we must help them with. We decided to have the lamia Tzik'nith help us because the elves chose to come to Cold Harbor and the lamia did not. And furthermore, ever since the lamia have arrived, they've been hunted down by the wood elves for some reason, probably because they think they're monsters, and they've been stealing the lamia's children, their eggs. So today we are going to rescue the lamia's eggs, and then Tzik'nith will help us get into the tower. Passing the Moonless Walkway Shrine and heading east, we find the Wood Elves' camp not too far away. Sneaking in, we manage to obtain all 4 of the eggs without being detected. There is a lore book within their camp next to one of the eggs, Exegesis of Marid Nanda. It's just north of the small pond that the elves have camped around. Fah'jik had asked us not to kill any of her clan, and we were able to accomplish this. Returning to Tzik'nith, we can give her the eggs.
You recovered our eggs. How wonderful. My people will be most grateful to you for this.
I fulfilled my part of our bargain. Now it's your turn.
I must return these eggs to our nest, but there is one more thing you must do before my people will feel truly safe. Please, may I tell you about this final task?
All right, tell me what else you want me to do.
A council of elders leads the Wood Elves. They live upon a large rock that floats above us.
Oh.
Queen Fah'jik's eggs were taken and hidden up there. You will need a key to open the portal and gain access to the floating rock.
Oh, they have a city floating above or something? All right, well, where do I get this key?
The key is divided into 2 shards, each protected by a Shadow Walker Guardian. As soon as you acquire the 2 shards, go to the camp in the center of the forest. My people will meet you there.
All right, well, is there a way to get the shards without killing the Wood Elves? Fah'jik asked me to do my best about this.
Why do you insist on not harming the ones who kill my people? The little elf girl. She has confused you, hasn't she? Bah! I do not know the ways of stealth. My people kill, and we do so proudly for all to see.
Seeing as Fah'jik has helped us out quite a bit during this quest line, I went ahead and persuaded her. I am helping you, so I'd appreciate your help. Tell me what you know.
I know nothing that would help you. I've already told you that. But think about it. How did you make your way past the Wood Elves earlier? How did you avoid the runner? That might lead to the answer you seek.
I'm not quite sure what she means here, but I'm thinking she's talking about the balls of light that we have come across. I managed to find one close by, although I'm not sure if it assisted me in being unseen or not. But we were able to get the 2 shards without too much difficulties. And then we meet up with the lamias at their camp.
You are the outsider who has done so much for my people. I am grateful. Perhaps when this is over, my people can live without fear or worry.
Tzik'nith promised your aid if I helped you.
Once the tyranny of the Shadow Walkers has ended, you will have the help you need. But first, we must recover my children from the Council. Did you acquire the portal shards from the Guardians?
I have the shards.
Good. Direct the shard key toward the portal at the center of the arches. The lamias will do the rest.
Running over to the portal that will lead us to the Elders, we use the shards of darkness and light.
Our time is now, my children. Swarm forth and reclaim what is ours.
Going through the portal ourselves, we find a horrific scene on the other side.
Finally, our children are avenged. The wood elves have fallen. My eggs shall be returned to my nest, and my people shall be safe. The Shadow Walkers shall be lost without their leaders. The day is ours.
They've killed them all. I mean, what would we expect? But wow, they killed all of the Elders. Turning to the Queen, you killed the Elders?
What would you have us do? The Wood Elves slaughtered my people. They would not listen to reason. The only chance we had was to remove their leaders. Now, we shall watch the Shadow Walkers crumble.
Will you show me how to enter the tower now?
You have helped us. Now we shall help you. I instructed Tzik'nith to head to the ruined passage that leads to the tower. You shall find her there. Know that the lamias are in your debt. Call upon us if you ever need our strength and cunning.
While we're up here, we take the chance to take a look at the scene down below and get a good view of the landscape. Once we're done talking to the Queen and enjoying the view, we go back through the portal to the Moonless Walk and find Tzik'nith to end the quest and see about getting her help to help us get into the tower. We find her to the northwest next to a door to the lightless oubliette tower.
My people rejoice. Most consider us monsters, but you helped us. We will never forget your generosity and compassion. My egg sisters will live, and life, even in this wretched place, is precious. Thank you.
I did what I needed to do.
As I promised, this door leads to the tower. I do not know what the tower holds, but we have heard the cries for help from within. Be careful in there, outsider. This is Cold Harbor. Even the most mundane things can hide terrible dangers.
And what will you do now?
The Khajiit told me of a city of safety to the east. I will take some of my people, for we would very much like to see this city. We will be there if you have need of us, my friend.
And with that, we bid farewell to Tzik'nith, hopefully to see her again as we march upon Melagol. Turning to the door, we enter the ruined passage. Lightless oubliette. Cold Harbor is a series of prisons within prisons. The lightless oubliette was specifically built to hold entities who can manipulate light to magical ends. The wardens of the oubliettes are careful to use only lights of the colder spectra, as these are less susceptible to refocusing. As we enter, I see that the king is speaking to me, but I don't hear him. He says, "The promised one has finally arrived. The light of Meridia is yours to claim. With it, you can finally set me free." We find the light of Meridia close by, hidden underneath the roots of a tree. Examining an ancient branch allows us to trip the trapdoor and open it, allowing us to take the light of Meridia.
Excellent. Bring the crystal with you. You will need it to free me from my bonds.
We find the king's projection just to the west as we step out of the roots from the tree.
I have waited for centuries. And waited and waited. Do you know how boring that can be? But now, you are here. Just as Meridia foretold.
Meridia knew I was coming?
The Radiant One knows many things. She knew that one day the city she plunged into Cold Harbor would serve her purpose. At first, she thought I would fulfill that prophecy. But I failed. And now, I need your help.
Where are you projecting this image from?
Have no fear. I am as alive as you are. Molag Bal has preserved me so that I can endure his endless tortures. His cruelty knows no bounds. I can't slip free of this lightless oubliette, but I have managed to send my projection to meet you.
How do I set you free?
I knew you were the one I was waiting for. Molag Bal locked me away for a reason. He fears me. Once you set me free, we can make him regret the day he made us his enemies. You made it this far, just as I had predicted. I am glad to see that my calculations were not in error. Now, if you are ready, we have a prison to break out of.
How did you wind up in here?
I was captured shortly after Meridia pushed her city into this dread realm. This prison relies on darkness. Early on, I almost broke free. Now Molag Bal shapes the darkness itself to bind me, suppressing my attempts to escape.
What should I do?
Molag Bal has trapped me within a pillar of darkness, infused with his own vile energy and powered by the light of Meridia. That, however, will be his undoing. The light of Meridia can also banish this darkness, but you have to bring it to me.
All right, I am on my way. Consider yourself rescued.
To reach me, you must first unlock the prison door. Molag Bal uses crystallized darkness to hold me and suppress my power. Move the crystals from their locations to the prison door, and the way shall be opened for you.
This ends the quest An Unusual Circumstance, and we start the quest Light from the Darkness. If we want more lore on who King Laloriaran Dynar is, we may ask, who are you exactly?
I am the last Ayleid King. In our ancient language, my name means ruler in dark times. I can imagine no darker time than the end of the Ayleid people.
How have you survived this long?
I am a servant of Meridia, her master tactician and strategist. Between my master's blessings and the time-distorting nature of this dread realm, I am still alive. Consider that your good fortune, for you will never defeat Molag Bal without my help.
Okay, well, I'll bring the light of Meridia to you.
To reach me, you must first unlock the prison door. Molag Bal uses crystallized darkness to hold me and suppress my power. Move the crystals from their locations to the prison door, and the way shall be opened for you.
All right. Thanks. I'll see you soon. The reward for this quest is a wood elf bow of Penumbra that deals poison damage, is sharpened, increases physical and spell penetration by 25-60. It's part of the Stygen set that deals spell damage, adds maximum stamina, maximum magicka at 5 items while you are sneaking or invisible. Your damage done with magic abilities is increased by 20%. A Shadow Walker weapon awarded for traversing the Moonless Walk and finding a way into the lightless oubliette. Heading up the stairwell behind the king, we can head into the lightless oubliette in search of his prison cell. In order to release the king, we must get through 3 different puzzles. The first we go to is the flame shadow crystal inside the frozen alcove.
Enter the frozen alcove and collect the flame shadow crystal. Then place it on the central dais at the entrance.
We fight through the essences of darkness and the frost atronachs to obtain the flame shadow crystal. The room changes and we realize that there must have been some sort of an illusion spell going on, because the area is no longer looks like a frozen cave, but more like a molten lava pit. Returning to the main chamber, we place the flame shadow crystal on the dais as the king had instructed us, and then we head north and head towards the life shadow crystal. During the time that we spend down here within the lightless oubliette, we thankfully have the light of Meridia, which gives us light all around us. It's a temporary source of light power, so we reactivate it each time we reach its time limit.
Enter the garden and collect the life shadow crystal. Then place it on the central dais at the entrance.
Fighting through the stranglers and other creatures of this section, we reach the life shadow crystal and take it. Removing this crystal, we're no longer surrounded by mind-numbing darkness, and suddenly it's a rather nice area with a pond and birds chirping and sunlight streaming down. It's a nice place to take a picnic. That unfortunately fades quite quickly, but it's no longer as oppressively dark as it had been before. Heading back towards the main chamber, we place this crystal in its position and then head for the last crystal, the Mind Shadow crystal.
Enter the library and collect the Mind Shadow crystal. Then place it on the central dais at the entrance.
Reaching this section of the lightless oubliette, we find shriven scourges and shriven keepers roaming this section, protecting the crystal. We take out a few of them and then head over and take the crystal. Taking the Mind Shadow Crystal, the Shriven in this area actually become neutral. I attack one with it before realizing that this is the case. After fighting that guy off, I head back to the main chamber and place the crystal. And now we just need to go free the king.
Well done, my friend. Now, enter the oubliette and set me free.
The lightless cell. The rules that govern the behavior of Malagbal's servants are known as the 701 edicts. Special cases are covered in the mandatory codicils. Violation of even the least of the edicts can result in a sentence to the Scathe Rings.
You have done well to make it this far. But there is still more to do to set me free.
There is?
My body is imprisoned within a pillar of darkness, generated by the ebon shards to each side. Place a light of Meridia in both of the sconces. Each will create a beam of light that will strike a nearby crystal. By rotating the crystals, you can change a beam's direction. You may need to rotate a crystal multiple times to connect the beams and form a path of light to the ebon shards. Adjust the crystals until the beams of light destroy the ebon shards. Then the pillar of darkness will collapse, and I shall be free.
After listening to the king, we can take a look at the crystals and find the crystal receivers. This is actually not a very difficult puzzle. You just need to rotate them around until the light beam that comes out goes the direction to the next crystal and to the next, until it gets to the emitter. Positioning both of the crystals correctly, the king has finally been released. Finally, we can go and talk to King Laloriaran Dynar face to face for once.
Ah, freedom at long last. My calculations suggested that you had a slightly better chance to fail rather than to succeed. I suspect, though, that you often beat the odds. Thank you.
Oh, you know, it's my job. Are you hurt?
No. A little weary, perhaps, but not injured. My mind remains sharp, however. I suggest we make our escape from this place. It is the only tactically sound option at our disposal.
Okay, let's get out of here.
Agreed. Allow me to create a portal to Meridia's city. We can speak there.
Oh yes, please. Let's take a shortcut out of here. I actually feel a bit sorry for him. He's just limping his way over. You need some help, buddy? Following the king down the steps, he creates the portal and we step through, appearing back in the Hollow City.
This portal leads to the Hollow City. We shall talk again when we are safely inside its walls.
Appearing back in the Hollow City, we see we have a notification to talk to King Laloriaran Dynar. It's directing us through a double set of heavy doors here. Going through, we've discovered the Fighters Guild. Heading up the stairs, we see that the king and the groundskeeper are both standing here wanting to talk to us. Speaking with King Laloriaran Dynar first.
I have barely set foot within these hallowed walls, and I already feel 1,000 times better.
Oh, great.
And now that you are here, we can determine our next move against the vile Molag Bal.
Do you have a plan?
I must take stock of our assets and resources, determine just how much might we can bring to bear. Only then can I develop a strategy that shall allow us to win this war. But forgive me. I wanted to convey that you performed admirably at the tower.
Oh, thank you. Completing this quest, we get the Ayleid Coat of Memories. The Ayleid Coat of Memories gives you a maximum health enchantment, increases critical resistance, and takes 50% less durability damage. It's part of the Meridia's Blessed Armor set that adds armor, stamina recovery, more armor, and at 5 items, when you block an attack, you have a percentage chance to blind the attacker, causing them to miss all of their attacks for 5 seconds. This effect can occur once every 10 seconds. King Dynar gave you this armor as a reward for freeing him from the binding darkness of the lightless oubliette. Well, that's a pretty nice set. It's good for this character. Maybe I'll have to think about equipping a few of these items. Turning back to the king, we continue our conversation, ending the quest Light from the Darkness.
It is good to be back in this ancient city. I need to assess our strengths and weaknesses, determine how best to make our assault against Molag Bal. If we strike before we build up a sufficient force, however, I fear we shall lose this war.
What do you suggest?
The soldiers, the ones who call themselves the Fighters Guild. They seem strong and capable, at least at first glance. I shall speak to their leader at once.
Well, I'm not sure who's in charge of this force.
No leader? Well, that is an unacceptable situation. I shall take command of this Fighter Guild force. It is the only logical solution. Talk to those within this building. After I consult with the groundskeeper, I shall join you inside.
All right. Ending our conversation, we turn to the groundskeeper.
The pieces begin to fall into place. With the king's aid, we shall assemble a force worthy of Meridia's blessing.
I noticed a few people as I headed this way. When did these people begin to arrive?
Small groups have trickled in since your departure. The warriors inside seem to be under the protection of the knight Darien, an exceptional fellow. Brave to a fault and devoted to lost causes. Cadwell found them in the wilds.
Oh, way to go, Cadwell. He's awesome. Heading up the stairs, we see Cadwell standing right here, and we decide to say hello to him.
Smashing! So glad you could join us. Welcome to the Fighters Guild, which is rather a mundane name, isn't it? Though it is precise. They fight things, and they're in a guild. Works rather well, actually, come to think of it.
So you found the Fighters Guild members?
Actually, it was Honor who found them. Have you met? We've been together forever. He knows Cold Harbor almost as well as I do.
Oh, your pet found them?
Pish tosh, Honor isn't a pet. He's my faithful steed. He does mistake the odd wood elf for a tasty treat, but they've been known to do that themselves, haven't they?
Oh, Honor's so cute. Heading into the Fighters Guild, we find a familiar face.
Your nagging is becoming more annoying than my persistent rash. We finally have a secure base. To go back outside without a plan is even too foolhardy for me.
You want us to hide behind these walls? To leave our comrades to die while you sip wine and lounge about? You have no honor, knight.
Don't lecture me about honor, elf. You have no idea what I've seen or what I've gone through.
What have I walked into? Turning to Darian, we can see what exactly is going on here.
My apologies for that display. The whole rash comment. Just a figure of speech, of course. So, I suppose you know more about this place than any of us. Like where I can get a decent drink?
The city is a safe haven, a place where we can regroup and organize.
A safe haven, eh? I didn't really expect to see cheerful flowers and clear water anywhere in this dark realm. I assumed we were walking into untimely and painful deaths. Glad to see I was wrong this one time.
How did you end up here?
I couldn't let you go off and save the world all by yourself, could I? Not with just these Fighters Guild braggarts. Besides, there was a portal. How could I not step through and see what was on the other side?
Yeah, I understand that feeling. So, who's leading this group?
That's a good question. I heard that Captain Alfari was killed shortly after we were scattered. I was hoping to find another officer here, but no such luck.
Well, I rescued an Ayleid King, and he wants to help assemble our forces.
An Ayleid? I thought they were all, dead.
Yeah, me too.
Of course, this is a Daedric Prince's plane. I really need to stop being surprised by such revelations. I have a feeling that won't be the strangest thing I find out before this is all over.
Attend me, soldiers. We have a war to win, and time grows short.
What in Ariel's name is this? Who are you?
So that's the last Ayleid, huh? I thought he'd be more dusty. Isn't that what happens when elves get really, really old?
Shut it, you fop.
Who's in charge of this group? Step forward and address me.
I did kind of try to step forward to lead the group, but...
Then allow me to rectify that. I shall lead you. We shall recover your comrades and complete your mission. If that does not work for you, your services are no longer needed.
I don't know who you are, but you aren't Fighters Guild. You have no authority over us.
Do you challenge me, then? Do you want me to kill you to prove my combat prowess to your companions?
I wouldn't necessarily mind seeing that. He is kind of annoying.
How can you expect us to lay down our lives for someone we never met? Trust is earned on the battlefield.
If you want to survive, if you want to win this, you must trust me. Allow me to explain why you need my lead. We shall work this out. I understand your reservations, but with my leadership, the Fighters Guild will help us win this war.
Turning back to the king, we can get an idea of what he's thinking about doing.
I do not expect this group to blindly trust me. That would be foolish. I plan to instill them with confidence so that when the others arrive, they will follow me without question.
So, what's your plan?
For now, I shall speak with each soldier here. Tell them what I think we should do and how we should do it. Perhaps listen to their opinions. To rush into battle with no allegiance is to command a unit that is already defeated.
And what should we do exactly?
Continue to amass our forces until we have enough troops. Then we meet in council and plan our attack. The chasm to the north protects Morlog Baal's inner sanctum. We must cross it and confront the prince if we hope to save Nirn.
Wrapping up this part of the intersection between the quests, we're now done with this main part of the Fighters Guild quest. There are still Fighter Guild members stranded throughout Cold Harbor, which we can assist by going through the Lights of Meridia quest line. But next we'll be working on the Mages Guild part. That's the other finalizing quest before we can go and actually attack Malgabal. So there's not too much more left of the main quest. Until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.